This is going to work a lot better, I
Perfect. Okay, here we go, part two.
promise. All right.
Okay, so how did you get into the sports industry?
All right. I was a sports communications major at the University of New Hampshire. I graduated 40 years ago this year. And I really wanted to get into the media relations part of it, but not a lot of jobs. So I did get my degree in sports communications, but I went into teaching where I've been teaching now 38 years. But along the way, I worked at University of New Hampshire hockey games and got asked one night to fill in on a broadcast on a hockey game, and that's how it started. I filled in, said yes, and been doing it ever since.
So, given that you didn't really plan on going into broadcasting before, can you walk us through that one broadcast that you didn't even know you're going to get into now?
Yeah, I really didn't have any desire to get into broadcasting. It was not on my radar. But that night it was a game at Merrimack College. I went to be a fan. I walked in a hoodie and a pair of jeans, and I saw the play-by-play announcer that I knew, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm just going to be a fan tonight." He said, "Well, will you help me out? I've got a cold and my partner's not here tonight. I can't do it myself. Will you help me out?" And so I said yes and nervously sat down, read some notes, and did my first broadcast in a pair of jeans and a hoodie.
How were you feeling when you were like doing that? Because I obviously the nerves, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Since I really didn't have any training in it, I was really, it was good I didn't have any time to plan for it. You just did it. And
yeah.
I worked with a guy who was of legendary status, and he was great to kind of wean me into it a little bit. I didn't do a whole lot, but he gave me time to say some things and understand how the whole broadcast worked. So yeah, it was kind of a bit part in that first game, a little bit more the next night when I filled in, and yeah, just a little bit more each time that I filled in for that first year before taking over full time.
And how has that experience been full time?
It's been an incredible ride. I can't be more appreciative of the University of New Hampshire for allowing me to keep coming back every year and expanding my role. Now it's been 32 years. They have me doing men's and women's soccer on the ESPN Plus platform, women's hockey, which I love, and a lot of the men's hockey either on the radio or ESPN Plus. So the role's expanded and it's just evolved so much. Again, nothing I had ever planned to do, but without the University of New Hampshire and people in the athletic department sticking with me, staying behind me, and giving me so many opportunities, I couldn't be more thankful.
Who are some of your like biggest influences and role models, like within not only the University of New Hampshire, but just like in your career?
Yeah, that's great. Um, well, at the University of New Hampshire, Mike Murphy, who's won this award many times, has been instrumental. He's a great friend. He's my play-by-play guy because I do color analyst. Um, another UNH guy, Jim Janot, who for many years did basketball and football there at the university. Nationally, as a kid, I'm going to throw out a name, might sound kind of weird, but I always loved listening to Howard Cosell. And everybody liked to imitate how would Cosell. But those are my first memories of broadcasting and doing imitations, and I think that always kind of stuck in the back of my mind. Of course, Jim McKay. Uh, when what really is stuck in my mind was when he did the 72 Olympics. And I was watching as a 10-year-old when he said, "They're all gone." That was so impressionable on me as an announcer to make sure you get it right. Just the class he did it with was phenomenal. And I really enjoyed the September 5 movie that just came out, It's now on Prime Video. I just found out today. But I
Yeah.
went to the movie theater to see it. It was the ABC media behind what they went through in the 72 Olympics. So
Oh.
Jim McKay was phenomenal. Yeah.
So in your 32 years of this experience, can you share some memorable moments that you've had?
Oh, wow, there are so many. People ask me that question now. I would say the 99 national championship game. UNH played against Maine, and unfortunately, Maine won, which is kind of ironic because I live in Maine, but I broadcast in New Hampshire. I'm UNH through and through, though. It was an overtime game. UNH lost in overtime, but just the thrill of going to Anaheim and beating Michigan State in the semifinals, and then making it to the championship. That was so memorable, so incredible. Another game that always sticks in my mind was the year before in 1998. Our broadcast crew did the women's national championship game, which was pre-NCAA. It was like EAIAW, but UNH won that, defeated Brown at the TD Garden in Boston. And I always think I broadcasted a national championship game where my team won. It was
Yes.
fantastic. Those two great years back to back, 98 and 99, were phenomenal. Um, but there have been so many NCAA games I've done, so many great games against Boston University, Boston College. The main games we always play every year are rocking. So I just have so many great memories.
So how do you prepare for a broadcast?
Well, that's a great question, um, because my full-time job, I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher
Yes.
for 38 years. I'm actually retiring in 10 days.
My
I'm
goodness.
I'm finishing my 38-year teaching career in 10 school days. So I'm looking forward to in the future. I'm still doing the hockey and soccer. I'll be able to prepare more, but usually I start preparing for a weekend series on a Monday, and I start doing some research, and then the releases come out from the league and the teams, and I try to gather as much information as I can. Uh, I don't go as deep as some of the play-by-play guys that have a little bit more time than I have, and they've got all these fancy charts and everything. But every person I've worked with has been fantastic. But yeah, I start earlier in the week and do a little bit each night. And Friday, go to school, do school, and then I'm in my car traveling somewhere to a hockey game, which couldn't be better for me because I forget about school in the previous 5 days when I go do two hockey games on a weekend.
Yeah. So preparedness and research, what are some other skills that you would say are pretty important for being in broadcasting?
Yeah, that's another great question because I started out so shy. I was really in those early days. Teaching helped bring me out a little bit. I'm still very shy around new people. I don't open up very much, and I know that I've been working on it. But um, just you meet so many people in the hockey world or the soccer world um, that I've learned to open up, um, put a smile on my face, and try to talk with them and have some small talk and learn a little bit more about them. And in the past, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, I've done a lot more interviews on hockey games in between periods. And right now, I'll get a tap on my shoulder in the middle of the first period and say, "Hey, so and so's going to come on for an interview," and I have no preparation.
Yeah.
So I've learned to actually work my way through that without being nervous and just go with the flow. Uh, and try to use a little bit of humor. But um, yeah, I've been able to develop that over many years, and doing that. I never thought I'd be able to do something like that, but that is definitely it. Just being able to do interviews like that just at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of smiles and humor and still the preparedness and research.
Yep.
So my final question would be, what advice do you have for people who are just looking to get into the industry?
Yeah. Another good question because, being in the education world, we're all about goals all the time. And I look at the two jobs that I have, I never had a goal of actually doing these. They came to me and I was just open and ready to go when the offer came. And I think have goals, but also just be ready when an opportunity comes that you may never think an opportunity will come your way. I never thought I'd be in broadcasting. Um, I figured I'd teach for a few years and then get back into the sports world, media relations, maybe try for a pro team. Um, Never thought I'd be teaching so long, as well as the opportunity to broadcast and expand myself that way. So I think it was all about right place, right time, right decision. That can lead you down a good path, but have goals too. But just be ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Webster, thank you so much for answering my questions and congratulations on
Yeah.
your win. It's so
Thank you.
deserved.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm
A
so excited for you
lot,
as well.
lot